Episode 3, Pursuit of Happiness. BTS Monuments once again proves to be monumental. Blaze, my brother. I mean, how are you feeling about this episode, it just as a whole, bro, before we get into these details?
A gem dropper all throughout the show.
Yeah.
They were just dropping them.
Yeah.
Like they just knew, you know what, we're just going to hit them with it back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Just bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of these things, man, I just be like, bruh, this is deep. Like, a lot of stuff that they said today, you can take with you. If you are doing like we doing and writing these notes down, you can take these things with you, man.
Take your notes,
these
guys.
are things you put in big bold letters, quote for quote, and you just put them on a paper.
Visible. Yeah.
And you just see them.
Yeah.
You know, like they have something for almost every move.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this was a gem dropper.
I like how they picked up where they left off on the last episode because they left us at a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of sadness and despair, and some members were not sure about whether or not they're going to renew their contracts. And then they jump into this episode. They wrap that story arc up pretty quickly. They're having a hard time. Basically, V astounded me when he said that he signed his contract to see the members smile because he just didn't want to see them struggling anymore, right? And so that's like, whenever you like truly love someone, you're doing acts of service for them. You're doing things for them, for their benefit. You're putting them first, right? And not to say that you should not take care of yourself, because absolutely, unless you're taking care of yourself and you're loving yourself, there's no way you have the capacity to love someone else. I don't care how much you care for them. You cannot love them properly. That was a big move right there for V and the members to really just like look at each other and like, we're just not happy. We're not having a hard time. What can we do to resolve this situation between us? And of course, they resolved it because BTS is here and they're not going anywhere, no matter what anyone says.
The second most important thing to remember is Army, man.
Armies. Okay.
Armies. At the end of the day, BTS do have this thing that I always say, if people can learn how to put themselves in other people's shoes, then this world could be a better place.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that being said, because sometimes we don't understand people, or we try not to understand people because we so stuck in what's going on with us.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes they allow you to be very close-minded just, you know, to yourself. And you're not really trying to understand the person sitting right next to you. And sometimes that person sitting right next to you is your brother or your sister or your wife or your husband.
These ain't strangers.
These ain't
are people you're close with. You spend a whole lot of time with.
Exactly. BTS, what I love about them, this is my opinion on how I feel they took it.
Talk that talk, bro.
When they was getting to that point of feeling like maybe we should disband, part of them also felt like, but who are we? Yeah, they have a lot of success and they've worked hard. They've been doing great. But who are we to just sit up there and make this decision on our own? If it's though they're not the reason why we're at where we're at right now. You know, you can definitely tell Army was thought of so much doing this decision that at the end of the day, I think that was the majority vote on why we should stay together and why we got to continue to work hard. Because if it wasn't for Army, there would be no BTS.
Factual.
That's just what it is. The support and hard work and dedication that Army has put into them to make sure that the world get their message. It's every year. We know. We know every time they drop something, you know, we're there. We just want the best for the guys.
Yeah.
And I think the guys know that. And they just like, you know what? We can't, you know, break up. We got to keep this going because look how we're motivating the world right now. Look how we're putting people lives together. Like, some people was missing certain pieces of the puzzle in their life that was truly giving them happiness. And BTS just wind up being that last piece that they needed. And I think that's what they saw. Without us, are they complete? Did we do enough to make sure that Army is okay? And I think that's the reason why they keep going till this day, especially because there's new people that's starting to know them every day. And their music is helping them right now.
Yeah, I love that. And it really goes hand in hand, man. It's like two sides of the same coin. Like, there's no BTS without Army, and there's no Army without BTS. They definitely mentioned this in this episode. Army is the reason. Army is the centerpiece of what they do, and one of the main reasons why they do what they do. But of course, a lot of the other important factors of why they do what they do is because they love what they do, right? And it's very important for them to love what they do. They love making music, and thank God that they do love making music, because they're top tier at it, absolutely, and performing as well. Let's get into the performing aspect of it. Touring, to be more specific. They were talking about how touring can be kind of boring, and it makes complete sense. They don't really think about these things when I'm in the midst of watching them perform, right? And just kind of watching these documentaries and everything. Like, I see all the hardships and everything, but this was one of the first times I think that I heard them mention how it's boring outside of being on that stage. Pretty much made complete sense. Sad at the same time, for it's like you look at them on the outside looking in. You got this extravagant lifestyle. You're like, oh man, these guys are living it up and everything. And Bang PD actually pointed this part out that I'm about to state. Well, things ain't always what they seem, right? More money, more problems, more stress, right? And more pressure, more responsibilities. Anytime you get more successful, there's levels to this, and those levels of success do not come without consequences. There's a consequence to everything, both good and bad, right? And perception is everything, and unless you're really in there like that, you don't fully understand unless you hear it from the horse's mouth. And BTS is one of them artists that, they're very transparent. They're gonna let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're not going to put on a facade. This is not Instagram for celebrities where they're just showing their perfect lives and making everyone jealous. No, they're showing you the real deal. And that's another reason why we appreciate and love these guys. And there's other artists that do that as well. That's why I say BTS is one of the ones that do that. So I thought that was very telling as well, and very informational for me.
On that, I want you guys to think about this. Yeah, you're traveling the world. You in some of the best 5-star hotels. The hotels alone quickly become. I seen them all.
Right.
If it's 5-star, you pretty much know the treatment that you're gonna get. First class, private jets, stuff like that. Same thing. Imagine you go to a place, you're there for 5 days, and within 5 days, you may have had 15 hours in total of free time. You're being told that, you can go out for an hour and a half today, but then we need you back at the stadium. Practice the routines on stage. So you have to do that. You might have to do a little promo. You still got to sleep, because you got to sleep well in order for you to perform. You got to eat. So all these things being taken away from this time, of course it becomes boring for you, because you're on a time like this crunching schedule that's not really allowing you to enjoy this beautiful place that you probably never been to until today.
That's a tragedy.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's sad too, because we're out there for days.
And we
get to go and enjoy life.
That's crazy.
Until the concert comes, and then we really enjoying life because it's over. And then the selfish part of us get upset because it's over.
Yeah.
And these guys got to relive this boring life tomorrow.
Yeah.
The big thing is they found comfort and happiness with performing for us. So those 3 hours that they're giving us, at least they're happy to see us happy.
Bro,
it's the life.
It's the life, man. And
when you see them dropping albums every year, and sometimes 2 albums in a year, that should let you know how much they love us, because they decided not to take a break for us.
They can, because BTS, I feel like don't try to keep up with the Joneses, because you see a lot of groups and artists who are trying to keep up with other artists, and they're doing a lot of comparing and things like that. I don't feel like BTS does that at all. I don't feel like BTS, and I know that BTS is not a manufactured group by any means, and they were speaking about that in this documentary as well, the difference between BTS and manufactured groups. You just see that BTS has a certain authenticity that comes with them, a certain sincerity, as RM was talking about, that comes with them, and RM really couldn't pinpoint it at first and pin that as their secret sauce, what makes them special, what makes them so sincere, right? What separates them, what draws people to them. They were so captivated in awe that so many people were drawn to them. They were able to impact so many people's lives. They came to the US and just saw how popular they were, and they were just completely astounded by that, just in awe. And they go to the Rose Bowl and they're like, oh my goodness, look at all these people. This is so many people, and it's sold out. They could not believe it, and they were like, we the first Korean group to perform at Wembley.
Shout out
and
V.
yeah, that was V said that. Are we the first Korean group to perform at Wembley? And they were like, yeah. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
So like they see the evidence of their success, right? They see how they're touching so many people's lives and stuff, but they can't figure out. They're like, what makes us so this special? Like what is it about us?
How RM kept pulling out the sincere part.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when they got out to the US to see how popular they was, I think that touched them in a way they probably haven't been touched in a minute, you know, like far as knowing that, oh, wait a minute, we always felt like music was a universal language because look at some of the American people who inspired us to do music.
Yes.
Oh, snap, we them. We part of that chain.
Yeah.
We became them people that inspired us. And you know how I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about how they feel. You know how amazing of a feeling that is?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Everybody know that they have their Korean artists that, you know, from their hometowns and everything that they love. But they have also mentioned so many Americans, artists who inspired them before.
Definitely played a big part.
And now
in their
they're
development.
They're part of that. They're part of those people who was able to start in the U.S. and their music reached and touched so many people outside of the U.S. in different countries. I'm pretty sure they kind of knew they was popular or had some, you know, feeling that they was popular.
Yeah.
But I think going and being sold out, going to a award show and people screaming BTS and all these different things, I think that's when it really hit them that, oh, they not just Korean. That's a Caucasian person.
Yeah.
That's a black person. Oh my God.
Hispanic.
That's a Hispanic person, right?
Yeah. Oh,
that's an Indian person right
Yeah.
there. That's and it just kept going. They realizing that, oh, we made it. We became the people that inspired us.
And then RM was like, race and gender does not hinder anything.
Nope.
Music's universal. And it's like you have these sayings like
Music is universal, right?
and it's like it's almost like a theory. It's almost like you hope that to be true, but then when you get out there in the wild and you actually experience that, this is a fact now.
Yeah.
This is no longer a theory. This is no longer something you just say. This is something we are living out right now. And like that, I think that really strongly encouraged the guys. They deserved it because they're changing and impacting so many different people's lives, no matter where you come from, no matter how you come. You heard me? They are changing our lives and they're saving so many lives, bruh. And they definitely deserve to receive that genuine love and admiration and also the evidence that what they're putting in the world is actually doing something. I mean, I think that's like one of the biggest things you as a creator and an artist to know that what you're doing is actually making a real difference.
It got to be the best feeling in the world to know that your art is saving lives.
Oh my God.
I even hate to bring this up, but I feel like it need to be said at this moment. We have so many, especially hip-hop, man. Hip-hop, it took a turn for the worse.
It did.
Where I think later on in life, when these boys grow to be men and then in their 30s and then they're in their 40s and they realize some of the music that they put out that destroyed neighborhoods and homes.
Jeez.
I think it's going to be one of the hardest things that they're going to have to deal with in the future, knowing that they influenced that. One thing BTS will never have to worry about is that.
Facts.
They know for a fact that what they put out there not only is touching, but it's their own truth. And so they teach people how to keep it real. Like, there's so many songs where these guys sing and rap about things that other people just ain't touching. They're just not talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, mental health.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, some people just don't want to touch their true selves and share that with the world.
Right.
But they do that. They teaching other people how to be themselves and to live their own. Because since they keep it so real and you just drowning yourself in this BTS and falling down more down a rabbit hole, you start realizing like, you know what? I've been wanting to dye my hair purple.
You can't stop me loving myself.
Right? Because I ain't playing. You know, it's that whole feeling that you get, this mood that you you start to
it's
have.
It's a movement for real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
y'all have made it easier for people to be their true self.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And you've made it easier for us, Nico, Blaze, and I speak for AJJ and Mika as well. You've made it easier for us to be our true selves as well. So thank you so much for that, BTS. Thank you so much for checking out this review of episode 3 of BTS Monument. If you want to check out our full reactions, those are only on Patreon. The link's in the description. It helps the channel in a major way, and it helps us to be able to do what we do and put out videos like this on a consistent basis. You heard me? So we appreciate you guys. No matter what support you give us, we love you guys to life.
Yes, we do.
And we out of here. What you gotta say? Keep it kosher, baby.